My name is Wim Eklars. I am for almost 20 years working with Coljet. My current role is Managing Director of Coljet Europe. We are extremely excited that we are helping the pharmaceutical industry with helping to distribute their vaccine globally. Some of the vaccines need to be cooled and frozen to a temperature to almost minus 80 degrees Celsius. Dry ice is obtained by expanding liquid CO2 and it has a temperature of minus 78.5 degrees Celsius. It doesn't melt, but it sublimates. It is during this sublimation that the gas is providing the needed cooling energy. The availability of dry ice is depending on the availability of liquid CO2. Liquid CO2 is a molecule that is released by different production processes. Can be ammonia plants, with, for instance, the production of fertilizers. Bioethanol, where CO2 is released during fermentation. Underground CO2, although it's only representing a small part of the global CO2 stock. And then more recently and more environmentally friendly biomethane plants that generate CO2 in addition to methane.
My name is Dennis Hjort and I'm the Vice President for Global Dry Ice Manufacturing Systems Division and the Integrated Blasting Systems Division. The challenges when you're talking about distributing the vaccine most of the time is the unknown, right? You have people are not giving any clear direction per se on exactly how it's going to happen, how many vaccine am I going to receive. We got numerous calls here at Coljet about dry ice requests, and we can hear that they don't have the answers that we are looking for to help them. So we have to guide them. Since again we've been in the business for a long time and we've been down this road many times when it comes to the whole logistics of cooling, dry ice and so forth. So I mean we spend a lot of our time guiding customers and help them to overcome the challenges that is with this vaccine distribution. The other thing is, what can the local suppliers do? I think most importantly is to be flexible. This is not really your typical dry ice customer where you're shipping out a trailer load full of dry ice. A lot of these customers are requiring small quantities of dry ice. It can be 100 pounds per week, it can be 200 pounds a week or something like that. That is probably one of those challenges that is out there because dry ice today is typically always distributed in a minimum of 500 pound totes. So the industry is not used to handle the smaller requests and all that, and that can cause some headaches down the road. And that's where I think the local dry ice suppliers or the industrial gas companies that are producing dry ice probably have to be a little bit more flexible with this and more accommodating to those smaller amounts that is being requested. The doctor's office that are receiving 100 vaccines or 500 vaccines don't need 500 pounds of dry ice. So he will ask for 50 pound dry ice or 20 pounds of dry ice, whatever it is. And again, that's where we are trying to talk through it with all our dry ice, with the dry ice network we have out there today, not only in the US but globally, on how we can together try and get this out as smoothly as possible. We have the dry ice suppliers out there saying we got 16 millimeter pellets, we don't have 10 millimeter pellets. And in most cases they would say, well, dry ice is dry ice, so here you have 16 millimeter pellets. But the thing is, the pharmaceutical companies that have brought out the vaccine where they use dry ice, those boxes are designed in a very specific way to accommodate a certain amount of dry ice. And with all the testing that has been done and all that, the 10 millimeter pellet is the one that meets that weight requirement there will be for dry ice. So if you're using a 16 millimeter pellets, you can't compress and it won't pack as nicely around the vaccines as the 10 millimeter pellets. So there is a rhyme and reason on why 10 millimeter pellets is the preferred one. Of course, there's a couple of different scenarios. When the vaccine is, arriving at the FedEx of the world, UPS, and so forth, they will replenish the boxes with an amount of dry ice that's needed, and then it will be, shipped from there further out to the end users. The end users being, everything from the little clinic in your local grocery stores. It can be the CVS of the world, the Walgreens, hospitals, and so forth. They also are responsible to re-ice again or replenish the vaccine boxes. And the frequency of that is once every 5 days is what's recommended by the pharmaceutical companies.
As we all know, the impact of COVID-19 to the global economy and also to the health of the global population, Colgate is extremely proud to help distributing the vaccine. It's a real honor, and again, Colgate is extremely excited that we can help in the distribution process of the vaccine.